We're ranking the top 10 players in the Super Bowl, guys. We put together our rankings and average them out. So the list you see today is a combination of all of our lists. Number 10, he makes the list because one person picked it, and that is Jay Gruden. Jalen Hurts comes in at number 10. Let's start with you, Jay. Why did you have him on your list?
Are you guys idiots? You guys didn't put him on your list? Jalen Hurts. He's got 5 touchdowns rushing in the postseason. He's not turned the ball over. He's the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. When he went out against the Washington Commanders early in the season, Saquon Barkley couldn't get a yard and they lost. They gave him a 2-touchdown lead to the Commanders. This guy's a valuable player for this football team. I mean, what he does. Sometimes it's what you don't do as opposed to what you do. He does not turn the ball over. He makes good decisions. All right. This guy is a top 10 player in the game on Super Bowl Sunday, for God's sakes. I had him at number 3, right behind Mahomes and obviously Saquon. I mean, this guy's a valuable player because if he's not there, they're playing Kenny Pickett. You guys understand that? Do you understand that?
Jay, the question was if we're ranking these players based on like how they fit in like the grand scheme of things. The importance to this game, he's number 2. Yeah, he touches the ball on every play, but he's not one of the top 10 most talented players in the game because of how much talent's around
top
on the
10
field.
most important players in the game, Justin.
Well, that's not what we're doing, Jay. Correct?
Well,
don't you think?
Maybe I misunderstood the rules, Justin.
You misunderstanding something? No.
But he's definitely a top 10 player in this game. I don't care what anybody says. This guy's
You
a hell
can't
of a
put
player.
him in the top 10 for basically his 1-yard rushing touchdowns every week. Like, come on,
He had
man.
a 40-yard touchdown against the Rams there, Colt. Don't you remember that?
Okay, there's one.
I mean, he played
That's
pretty
not
good
5.
against the Commanders. He threw a couple touchdowns against the Commanders.
He's
So,
played really good. He's played really good.
So, Colt,
they're
Colt,
15
why did you
they're
not put him in
17
your
and
top
3
10?
for God's sakes. Jesus.
Jay, if we're going most important players,
He's the quarterback of a 17 and 3 team in the Super Bowl.
He had quarterback for the league.
you're right. Jay's got some good points.
All right, let's go to the next one. We got number 9. Our consensus list came up with Creed Humphrey. Speaking of centers, let's go. Most important relationship in all of football is the quarterback-center relationship. Colt, you know this firsthand. Talk a little bit about what Creed Humphrey brings.
I'm going to give Creed Humphrey one piece of advice. He's an awesome football player, and he doesn't need this. He knows. Slide to Jalen Carter, right? When we go jet protection, it doesn't matter. Slide that way. And if he does that, he'll be just fine in this game. But he's a Oklahoma Sooner boy. But I'm still a big fan. He's had a nice career and touching the ball every play, making the calls, the blocking for Patrick Mahomes. He's a stud.
Justin, what do you see from Creed Humphrey?
Yeah, Creed Humphrey, one of the best in the NFL, if not the best center in the NFL right now. He does it all. He gets that offensive line on the right slides every single time, IDing in the run game. I do got to go back though. Jay might be onto something here. I mean, I do feel a little dirty saying someone before or after Jalen Hurts. So I might be readjusting my list on the fly. Jay may have sold me, but it doesn't take away from how good Creed Humphrey is.
Great player. Didn't make my list, but he's a great player. Sorry.
Coming in at number 8, Zack Baun, potential defensive player of the year. Justin, as an offensive lineman, what do you see from Zack Baun?
Tough player to block. I didn't have him ranked in my top 10 in this game. Yes, he's having a great season. Think the Eagles are very talented around him. He can do a lot. He makes a lot of big turnovers. He's not like your sideline to sideline linebacker. He's had a resurgence of a season. So I might not have been the best person to ask on that one because I didn't have him in my top 10.
Yeah, it's probably a good decision because he's only up for defensive player of the year. But
bingo.
I probably wouldn't have put him on there.
Guys, I had him the highest at number 7. But let's move on to number 7, A.J. Brown. Jay, I know you love A.J. Brown. There's a big reason why you like this Eagles team. Talk about what you see from A.J. Brown.
Well, AJ could probably have better years on other teams that throw the ball a lot more that don't have Saquon Barkley. He's become more of a good run blocking receiver, which he is a very good run blocking receiver. But when his number is called, he gets open and makes plays down the field. He can hit you on the inside slants and be physical after the catch. He can hit you on the downfield bomberooskies, man. He's just got to take advantage of the reps or take advantage of the calls when they come because they don't come very often for him anymore because of the dominance of Saquon Barkley. But he is a great player.
All right, coming in at number 6 on our list is Jalen Carter, a guy we've been talking about. All of us have talked about him. Colt, I'll let you jump in here and talk about how dominant he has been.
Yeah, I mean, he's a closer. You watch the Rams game and watch what he did late in that game when the Rams were driving. Like, he's been doing that kind of stuff all year this year. He's dominant on the inside. You guys know how hard he makes life for these interior offensive linemen every week, and I think it's going to be the same way this week. I think Creed Humphrey's got his hands full. I think Jalen Carter is athletic. He's strong. He plays hard. And he's a guy that can turn a game around from the inside of the line of scrimmage. So very deserving that he's like at number 6 and number 7 on most of our lists going into the top players in this game.
Yeah, he's going to be really tough to block. But you know what isn't tough? Clicking that like button, clicking that subscribe button. Keep joining along on this ride of clean pocket all the way to the Super Bowl and beyond as we try and reach our goal of 20,000 subscribers. We can't thank you guys all enough for joining in with us. All right, let's go to number 5. I'll take this one. Lane Johnson, number 5. I cannot say enough good things about him. Everybody's been talking in the offensive line community. We need an Offensive Lineman of the Year award. My opinion, it would be Lane Johnson. The guy is consistent. He's incredible. He has been so good over and over and over again all year long. And when you look at him, he never consistently gets beat in a game. He's constantly always in the right position. He never gets put in a blender. And you always know from the right side, there will not be any pressure. Let's move on to number 4. I'm getting crushed by Kansas City on this one. Chris Jones. Let's go to you, Justin. You played against Chris Jones. Talk about Chris Jones.
He is a closer. At the biggest times, he is going to make a play. I juggled him and Jalen Carter. Chris Jones is still the number 1 interior defensive lineman in this game. He seems to make the biggest plays at the biggest times because he does. He is going to go out and make a massive impacting play in this game. It'll be a forced fumble. It'll be a pressure on a big third down. Can we just go back to Lane Johnson real quick? Jay didn't even have him in his top 5 at all, but we'll move on here. Chris Jones is a beast, and he will make a play in this game.
Speaking of Jay, we'll go back to Jay. Travis Kelce comes in at number 3. Obviously not the big year we are used to seeing, but he's still having a heck of an impact on this team. Talk about Travis Kelce. The best app for your big game party is on your phone. That's right. You and all of your friends could be feasting on Underdog. Ride together on stats like passing yards, first TDs, interceptions, and so much more. If you or your friends haven't joined Underdog yet, what are you waiting for? Whoever signs up today using code POCKET, capital P-O-C-K-E-T, will get up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, that's code POCKET for up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Head to the App Store and download Underdog today.
Accountable, dependable, productive, consistent. I mean, all the qualities you want in a tight end, he's got. He's always where Patrick Mahomes needs him to be. He makes the play when it's there. He's great yards after contact, running with the ball. He protects the ball, great ball security, good teammate. He had a great girlfriend and Taylor Swift. I like some of her country songs back in the day. The Tim McGraw song. It's good stuff. Everything about Travis Kelce is unbelievable. Definitely a Hall of Famer, Justin. Yes, I put him above Jalen Hurts. No, I didn't. I put him 4th. Sorry.
Colt, I'll let you jump in. I'll let you jump in here, Colt, with Travis Kelce. Listen, when you look at him on film, it's constant ad libs. It's constant, rerouting of routes. How important is he to Patrick Mahomes' success?
Yeah, very important. I mean, listen, his route tree is unlike any other tight end in the game. Simple stick routes, he can run a post, he can sit, he can break it out, he can climb a little bit deeper behind the linebackers. Like, he has the flexibility to do that within Andy Reid's system. You watch the rest of the concept and you're like, what is he doing? He has the ability and the trust of Andy Reid, of Patrick Mahomes, to be able to find ways to get open. When you run an over route, he might put his foot down and run a sail route the other side. Like, you don't know what he's doing. But they've done it for so long. He's been very dependable. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes when he's doing that. And I see him making a big impact in this game for a lot of reasons. Number one, I still think he can beat man coverage. And if you're the Eagles, if you want to play in man coverage, you got to mug him at the line of scrimmage. Number two, if you play zone coverage, that's what he's been doing his whole career, is finding the soft spots, breaking off his routes at different depths to Patrick Mahomes find him in those little sweet spots, in those little honey holes. So he's a fantastic player, and I think he has another big game in the Super Bowl.
All right, let's move on to number 2, Saquon Barkley, consensus number 2. All of us had him at number 2. Justin, I will start with you. Obviously, we can talk ad nauseum about how good he's been this year, but just give me a few tidbits on why he is number 2 on our list.
Yeah, I don't have to talk about, all the physical attributes and what he can do when he has the ball in his hands. We all know it. What I loved about Saquon Barkley, he's put everything before this game. All the stats, all the rushing records, all of everything. He could break a 70-yard run, but if the game's over, he's going down. Everything has come down to him winning this Super Bowl. It's why he left New York. It's why he signed with Philadelphia. He is the ultimate teammate. So not only does he do everything right on the field, he's doing everything right off the field. And for him to get this win would be a little stamp in, hey, the running backs are officially back. You better start paying us big money. I can't ever look at, no offense, Gabe Davis making twice as much as Saquon Barkley. It's just blasphemy.
I think he's less than 50 yards away from breaking regular season and postseason total rushing yards, which is an incredible statistic. And if I know we wanted the regular season rushing, but if he pulls this off and they win the Super Bowl with that offensive line and this running back, unbelievable. But let's move on. Obviously, no introduction needed. Our number 1 consensus player in the game. Jay, I'll start with you. Patrick Mahomes. Talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, no, we've talked about him. Clutch. I mean, he just understands game situations, game awareness, doesn't make mistakes, just puts a team on his back when he has to. If the offensive tackle can't block, he'll scramble, move around, and find another option, another way to do it. He just always gets things done. I don't know how he does it. I mean, some of the play calls are just average play calls, but he makes them work. It's just the damnedest thing I've ever seen by this guy. He'll take a play that is totally blanketed by the defense and turn it into a scramble drill and a 30-yard gain to Kelce or a 15-yard run down the sideline. When the pressure is on is when he's at his greatest, and he's a clutch time performer and just probably the best quarterback we'll see in a long time.
Colt, I want to go to you on this one because – listen, we talk about the X factor and the it and all the things that he brings. And I think the one thing that we constantly talk about is like he just finds a way, right? He finds a way. He'll escape. Jay just mentioned all those different things. But when he's in the pocket, talk about the talent, talk about the technique, talk about all the things that he is. Because he is, like, I think we get lost in the fact that he is a damn good quarterback.
Yeah, if you're a young quarterback, you don't want to watch the footwork and the technique of Patrick Mahomes. Okay, there's really not any. It's retreat, it's retreat, it's retreat. There's never like a 3-plant throw the football or 3-in-1 hitch on time in rhythm. Going from 1 to 2. Like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have really driven in the idea of concepts and where the ball's supposed to go, and it needs to be there on time. But Patrick Mahomes just has been very flexible in his footwork and his technique in the pocket. I mean, sometimes he's taking 9-step drops and then rolling around and finding a guy but the ball still gets where it's supposed to be on time. And I had this long conversation with Kingsbury when I first went to Arizona, and we were, Cliff was the same way. He wasn't like so dialed in on your feet. It's like if the ball gets where it's supposed to be on time, that's what I care about. Yeah, we need to coach the feet. Yeah, we need to coach timing. But like everybody's a little bit different in that way. And Mahomes is on the extreme side. But at the same time, the linemen figure it out. They know that Patrick Mahomes is not going to be sitting at 8.5 yards in the pocket every single time, but they figure out how to block it up. Patrick finds the soft spot and rips it. And so it's one of the darnest things I see when I watch them play football, because nothing's consistent. But at the same time, he's on his 3rd Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous and amazing what he's been able to do.
Okay, there you have it. That is our top 10 players ranked by all of us at Clean Pocket. Let us know what you think.